everybody, and welcome to the Paws 4 Stitches podcast. My name is Candy, and I am coming to you from a rather different place this morning on this chilly January morning in 2018. Here I am in my car, and I promise you I'm going to be safe. I apologize that my eye contact is not going to be fantastic because obviously I'm going to be keeping my eyes on the road this morning. This definitely is going to be a very different episode than others that I have recorded in the past. For those of you who are returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new viewers, it's definitely going to be a bit of an odd video for you to watch and take in for the first time. There are a lot of reasons I am in my car right now, one of which is because I am on my way to work, and with the job that I do, I am currently in the midst of helping to plan and prepare for a pretty epic professional development day for teachers, which we have been working very, very hard on over the last few months. It's the first time in a district where we have probably about 1,100 staff members coming to this event on Monday. What we've tried to do this time is make it a day of choice where people get to choose what they want to learn about. We have well over, I think, 170 different courses being offered throughout the day. There are going to be food trucks, prizes, you name it. We have tried to think of it because we want this to be a really fantastic day for our teachers. The only reason that I am bringing this all up now is because it does have something to do with what I wanted to talk to everybody about today, and that is the fact that the reason this is going to be a slightly different episode is because this is more than likely the last episode I am going to film of the Paws 4 Stitches podcast. I have been agonizing over this decision for the last probably 3 months or so, I would say. And the other strange thing is I even had, back in November, I had recorded a podcast episode from up in the cabin that I never got around to editing and uploading to YouTube. So I am sorry for that, but I think, that was right around the time I was really starting to think seriously about having to take a step back for a while. And that's where I struggle, because part of me wants to just say goodbye for now and hope that at some point you may see me back and doing this again. But I have just, as of late, the reason I bring up all of my work stuff at the beginning of this recording is that I'm finally getting back to a place with my real life job where I'm a little bit excited about work again. I struggled for a bit, kind of lost my way with work and wasn't sure I was really all that happy with what I was doing. But I think I'm getting back to a better place, and as a result, my head is more in the game with work. And quite frankly, I have loved more than anything, and I'm going to get into this in a moment, but I have loved everything about podcasting, except for sometimes the struggle that I've had with balancing podcasting stuff with life stuff. And I struggle to balance all kinds of things in my life, as some of you know that I've talked about this before, and all the bullet journaling and planning and list making and everything making in the world doesn't always seem to help with that, because part of my problem is that I am the type of person that if I can't give 100% to something, I tend to start shying away from it altogether, because I don't always deal very well with the guilt that comes along with feeling like I'm not doing a good job with something. So that's kind of what I was starting to feel like with this podcast. Talking to a lot of my other podcaster friends about it, it seems like this is a typical sort of, a little bout that people go through when they're podcasting, or when they're relatively new to this, is really trying to figure out a way to give it your all, but not lose sight of all of the other parts of your life that are incredibly important. So part of my reason then for taking a step back is because I want to focus on my work. I want to get back to a healthier lifestyle, which I have let that go for quite some time. I owe it to myself. I owe it to Jamie to take better care of both of us. And I do think that for me, one of the struggles I've had with podcasting is that it's not just the editing and the uploading and, the filming and the putting things together and whatnot. It's all of the other things that come along with it. I know I have not done a tremendously good job with keeping up with my Ravelry group, for example, and that bothers me that I can't do that very well. And even when I'm not doing something related to podcasting, I found myself thinking about it a lot. And, unfortunately, we only have a limited amount of headspace. And again, for me, that's part of the struggle, is that when podcasting is taking up a good chunk of my headspace, I've had a hard time focusing on other things that I really need to concentrate on right now. And that being said, the last thing though, and I guess this is the good news and why it's not like I'm going away permanently, I want right now my crafting, my everything to be my outlet for the stress that I am going through with work and other things in my life. When I come home to knit, I don't want it to be because I'm stressed and I have to get something finished to show it on the next podcast, or because I'm hosting this knit along and I'm doing a crummy job of making mittens every month, and now I feel guilty about the fact that I'm not making mittens every month. I want my knitting to just be a peaceful, mindful thing for me for a little while. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I still think I'm going to be thoughtful in the same way I've tried to be with my podcast about my knitting, and kind of plan things out and still keep in touch with everybody on Instagram and Facebook, even for those of you who have found me on Facebook as well. So that's just to say that I'm not going away altogether. Believe me, I thought through a couple more, possible intermediate steps before totally stopping the podcast. One of which was I was even considering doing a seasonal podcast, sort of inspired by the 4 Gilmore Girls episodes. I thought, how fun would it be to have like a winter, spring, summer, fall podcast and just sort of encapsulate all of the projects that I worked on within each season. I thought about trying an audio podcast where I could even record myself in the car on the way to work talking. I don't know that I would be comfortable doing what I'm doing right now all the time, because again, I want to be careful, and when I'm podcasting like this, when I'm talking to you guys in my car, I can't give you the eye contact and necessarily the face-to-face attention that I would like to. So, but again, after a lot of consideration, I think I have to be selfish on this one, and I think I really need to take that step back and say goodbye, at least for now, because one of the things I have said to all of you every single time I stop at the end of my podcast is that I want you to take the time out and pause for those stitches. So I think I'm finally going to follow my own advice. I'm taking a time out. I'm pausing for my own stitches just to keep a better sort of life balance for myself and focus on other things that I've maybe neglected a bit because of the podcast. Before I say goodbye for now, what I do want to highlight, because of course I like to end on an incredibly positive note, is I just want to highlight each and every one of you who have taken your time out of your busy lives to watch even just one episode of my silly little podcast that I decided to start because I wanted to get to know some people in this community better. And for that reason alone, I will never ever regret this experience. if it should be that I don't come back to it again, it will still be one of the top things that I have ever tried in my life, because it has allowed me to meet all of you that have reached out and connected with me. It has allowed me to make friends in a way I thought never possible to make friends. It has allowed me to develop relationships that are stronger than some of the relationships I have with people in my real face-to-face life that I have known for years and years and years. And it has allowed me to be so inspired by each and every one of you, and the dedication that you have to your craft, and the things that you make, and the things that you love, and the yarn that you buy, and all of that wrapped up in a bow will just be the greatest gift that I think I've ever given to myself. So I have no regrets about this experience, even though it has been hard at times on me. I just wanted to make sure I took the time to say thank you to all of you. That being said, would you ever have thought that Candy Mulligan, Paws for Stitches, would have ever recorded a podcast in less than, I'm at 11 minutes and 20 seconds now, so I'm going to say in less than 13 minutes, because I am going to wrap this up so that I can get to work and get started and finish preparations for this crazy professional development day I have ahead of me on Monday. So I am not going to leave without one last time telling you all that I love you. I wish you all the best. I wish you a happy and healthy 2018. And I hope that no matter what you're doing and no matter how busy and crazy your life gets, you absolutely, positively can take the time out to pause for those stitches. And would you know that I have stopped at a stoplight so I can stare you in the eye and tell you that I love you, and also blow you all a big kiss. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye. You knew it wouldn't be possible for me to keep that to under 13 minutes, right? You knew it. You knew that I'd be back. Don't worry, or worry, I guess. I haven't changed my mind, but what I realized I forgot to tell everybody when I was at the point where I was discussing the wonderful friendships that I have made through this crazy experience. I wanted to also mention, and I think you all may have heard this already from my dear friend Lucky Jenny of the Lucky Jenny Knits podcast. Jenny and myself will be getting together virtually one last time. We are hoping to do so this weekend. Poor Jenny. I have been kind of delaying. I am the one who has been delaying things because, like I said, of my crazy work schedule of late has sort of made it a little difficult for me to commit to time to get together with Jenny to record a little special prize giveaway episode to wrap up our pen pal cal that we have had going on together for the last few months. So again, I just wanted to mention that is just yet again another highlight of the many, many wonderful things that I have had the opportunity to watch unfold through this awesome community. So this may not be now the most stellar ending, or maybe I just wanted to tell you to pause for stitches again, or maybe I just wanted to blow everybody another kiss, who knows, but I had to come back and just let you know that that is definitely one more time. You will see my face again with Lucky Jenny, and we will get that out to you guys very, very soon. As I said, we are planning to get together this weekend. So thank you again for all of you that participated in the Pen Pal Cal. I think that, again, was a perfect way. Jenny and I have talked about this. It was such a perfect way for us to kind of wrap things up for ourselves because, as I said earlier, you are all the best part of having done this, and watching new friendships being made through that Pen Pal Cal definitely was the icing on the cake. So Thank you, and again, don't forget, pause for those stitches, and Lucky Jenny and I will see you soon. Bye.